In this episode, Golden and I discuss the new Amazon Prime Video show, Upload Season 1. Full speed ahead. Welcome to the Omega Beam number 78. I'm your host, Oren Merton, and I hope you're all doing well. So we have a brand new series to talk about. Amazon Prime Video just dropped the first season of a brand new sci-fi tinged show called Upload, starring Robbie Amell, who should be a familiar name in this genre. He's been in a bunch of things on the CW, and he was in Code 8, which we talked about a couple weeks ago. We do a few spoilers in this, but it's pretty light spoilers, so no worries if you haven't watched it yet. And here we go. I am here with Golden to talk about a brand spanking new Amazon Prime Video show we pretty much binged in 2 days, right?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, if we had started it earlier on the first day, it probably would have been 1 day.
That's true. It's called Upload, and it's a new sci-fi tinged series, kind of a little bit of a flavor of The Good Place, if you watched that one. And this show was created by Greg Daniels, he's a writer who's worked on a ton of Hollywood comedies, including The Office and Parks and Rec. So he's definitely got a very good track record.
So basically, you have a character who's in this actual industry where he's trying to create an environment for people to be able to, when they die, they can upload into a different world.
Right.
So that they may not physically be alive, but they have the possibility to exist after, and therefore your family, your friends, and other people that are still on this plane of existence can still interact with you and visit, and it's a very interesting concept. Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
And in this case, he dies prematurely and ends up uploaded into this very prestigious afterlife.
Yes, he happens to have a girlfriend who is extremely wealthy, comes from a very wealthy family, and they have this plan. They keep joking throughout the thing. We're a Horizon family, Horizon being the name of the company that does this afterlife. And so she uploads him to this incredibly posh afterlife, which he couldn't have afforded by himself.
No, which basically means she does own him.
She owns him.
At any point she can delete, but it's not just as simple as that. And there will be some light spoilers, so I would suggest if you want something that is entertaining, that has a little bit of mystery to it, there are only about 10 episodes. They probably average about 30 minutes each, so It's not much time. The characters are really, really great. I think that you get to be attached to Nathan. You get attached to Nora. And then towards the end of the season, you find out some of these characters and some of these people that you know, or that you think that you know, you may not.
I think they do a good job of misdirection. They give you clues, so it's not like just completely out of left field, like, why did they write that? But the series tends to lead you in one direction when it actually reveals something else, which is good. I mean, I like it when shows do that.
And there is that misdirection, but they don't take it on too long. It's like, okay, if this in episode 4, they bring this up in episode 4, they don't drag it out. It's by episode 6, oh, okay, well, that's why. And there's still some mysteries even at the end of the season.
Oh, yeah, they left a lot open for season 2. And in fact, season 2 has already been greenlit. I don't remember the exact day. I'm looking at it right now. May 1, 2020. So 8 days, basically a week after the show landed, they re-upped it for a second season. So
I'm just very disappointed that it was only 10 episodes.
Yeah, it's definitely a show that it sucked us in pretty quick.
And I love the Alicia character, the Luke character. You've got this young boy who's stuck being, I don't remember how old, But
Like 12. I think he was pre-puberty.
I think he was younger than that even. But the character is stuck being this young kid, and everyone around him is evolving. And because his parents won't pay for an upgrade so that he can actually upgrade himself into puberty, he's just stuck being this little kid. And you just ache for him because he can't do anything that he really wants to do, because everyone even looks at him like he's mentally been growing during this time, but his physical appearance just doesn't match.
And this goes also to what you were saying about how the show touches on various philosophical issues and themes, even if it's not a deep philosophical show, because it does touch on the fact, it mentioned in that exact episode that one of the reasons his parents won't pay for that upgrade is because they want to remember him as they knew him in life. Whereas his consciousness in this computer has continued to, grow and evolve, and it's ready to have a avatar that reflects that. And they go into some of society of 2033, which is when it's set as well. You see some riots happening, or not riot, protests.
And he tries to take matters into his own hands, which is absolutely wonderfully entertaining.
Oh yeah. It is. It's a funny show. It's like, I think, a lot of lighter fare that's been coming out fairly recently. It is gentle. It is light. It never gets mean. It never gets too over the top or too gory. I mean, there's some gore, but not like super gore. There's some steaminess, but it's not super steamy.
There's an actual person, because people are basically downloaded onto these hard drives, and one of the people's missing, and they can't find him. And if you have not watched it yet, or if you have watched it, there is a small quick little scene where you find where that person is.
Yeah, it's a nice little Easter egg.
Yeah, it's really quick.
Yeah, and clearly the people who made this show, they did it with a lot of affection and joy, and I think it comes across. And let's face it, this is kind of a time in which I think light comedy is particularly good.
And it's really interesting because everything is so much about the 5-star rating.
Right.
It's like there's a dating app. You go and you hook up with someone, you give them a certain number of stars depending on how you feel the hookup went. And you can't change it after. So one person might say, I'm gonna give you 5 stars, and they only give you 3, and then just to get you to give them 5 at first. And then it carries over also into the actual environment, this afterlife, because the afterlife has their angels, and those angels get rated.
Right.
So for each interaction, you can give your angel 5 stars, and you swipe over to get the stars. And then you have another character who is obsessed with deliveries and things and getting packages from Zappos and Amazon and all of these places. And that's, again, going back to a lot of those places have that rating scale.
Right.
This is that 5-star rating.
Yeah.
And it's all about everything being rated.
Yeah, I think that's a good a good segue to the world of 2033. There's clearly technology that is advanced from ours, either the communications technology, the car technology, but it's very familiar. And they didn't go overboard.
And the technology is also, it's like in the Los Angeles area, self-driving cars, very common, much more popular. On the East Coast, New York, it's just not seen as much.
Right.
So that's kind of interesting. And they do a good job at getting that across as well.
Overall, I would say that this show, it doesn't take a ton of time investment because the episodes are so short. And I like the fact that each episode is as long as it needs to be. The first episode's actually about 45 minutes long, but some of the others are only 24, 25, 35. Yeah. I mean, as long as the story needs to be. I mean, that's one of, I think, the benefits of these online streaming services is that since they're not beholden to a exact time slot to fit ads in, they can just make the shows at the length they should be.
Yeah, if they decide, this really isn't needed, we'll leave that out. Or, I think we need a few extra minutes here to develop this. Yeah, no, there was definitely one of the things that they let go on a little bit long was his relationship with his best friend and where that stood. And I think that was good. There's still something happens inside Horizon's office building, and we still don't know why it happened. We still don't know what its purpose was and who was involved.
Yeah, they definitely left you a lot of mystery for seasons 2 and beyond. So they certainly have a lot of story still to tell. So yeah, that's I'm glad they're going to be telling them. I'm glad they've got more seasons to do. So, and
you were saying that there's a character named David Choke that you feel was maybe
based on one of the Koch brothers. Yeah, the real life Koch brothers.
So, and it's an interesting dynamic. I wasn't too sure going in, but it was pretty cool. I mean, there's one character that since she was like 78 or something when, or I don't know how old she was when she died, she gave them a black and white photo. So her character is not in color.
Right, because in this afterlife, in this digital afterlife, you basically are the avatars that are created for you from photo references, etc. And if they're all black and white, well, there you go. So yeah, it was done well. The CGI is done well. I think any show with a talking dog is automatically a good show. And yes, there is a talking dog. So that makes any program worth watching as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, no, like I said, my only disappointment is that we have to wait to see where they're going with it.
That's right. Exactly.
Is there a book?
No, I think this is an original. No book.
Darn.
Oh, well. Well, thank you, Golden.
You're welcome.
And that's it for this episode. You can find the show notes at theomegabeam.com/78. If you liked this episode, please leave a review in the Apple Podcasts app or wherever you listen to podcasts. These reviews help people who like this stuff find our podcast. If you have any comments or suggestions, please drop us a line at info@theomegabeam.com. Be good to yourselves and each other, and we'll catch you next time.